You remembered that hundreds of thousands of years ago, when you were in the heavenly cloud realm, to break through from the heavenly human realm to a small fourth-order realm, your daily strength increase was as if it didn't exist. Perhaps in one day, you could only increase your strength by tens of thousands of jinn, which was equivalent to a normal peak Haoshan. By the peak of the Dharma idol realm, before breaking through to the void tempering, the strength gained each day was only equivalent to an ordinary nascent soul powerhouse, which was nothing significant. And now, it was no longer calculated by days, but by seconds. 1 second was equivalent to gaining the power of several seventh-order realm cultivators, and 1 day was the superposition of the power of hundreds of thousands of seventh-order realm cultivators. 192. Mixed Heavenly Masters, Life Suikin, Akabane Heavenly Gold. If only I could have this much cultivation resources every day to refine and increase my strength, that would be great. Then, I probably would only need a few hundred years to break through to the 11th order. In tens of thousands of years, I would be able to achieve the 12th order, and the 13-rank Eternal Grand Luo after that would also be an easy matter. Unfortunately, this kind of treatment, where one can refine heavenly materials and earthly treasures of the same level every day, even the creator of the Hun Tian Hall, the strongest person in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, that existence who has reached the limit of the 14th order realm. Even his most favored descendants would not be able to enjoy such treatment. Putting away your greedy and unrealistic thoughts, you began to enter the virtual world to understand the major events that had occurred in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World during your absence. One of the major events, needless to say, was that the people from the ancient god Great Thousand World and the nightmare Great World were still fighting. This matter did not make you feel anything amiss. In the past records of battles between major thousand worlds, even if these two major thousand worlds were not in an all-out war, but only localized battles, where only one grand Luo existence was sent from each side. However, a battle would take at least tens of millions of years to conclude, and this was considered a relatively short duration. In longer cases, it would not be a problem for a battle to last hundreds of millions of years. Only a few 100,000 years have passed. There is still a long way to go. Compared to this matter, another event attracted more attention. In recent tens of thousands of years, the prices of 7th and 8th order heavenly materials and earthly treasures in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World have decreased to a certain extent. The price of 7th order heavenly materials and earthly treasures was only a few tenths of a Hun Tian gold unit, and peak 7th order ones were only about 2 or 3 Hun Tian gold units. Now, for heavenly materials and earthly treasures of this level, the price of ordinary early 7th order heavenly materials and earthly treasures has generally dropped by 0.01 Hun Tian gold unit, which is already considered a major event. In the past, although the prices of these heavenly materials and earthly treasures would decrease to a certain extent over time, each decrease was only 0.002 to 0.003 units, not this much. This situation clearly indicates that someone is selling these heavenly materials and earthly treasures in large quantities, causing a certain change in the supply and demand relationship. Many people are speculating that perhaps a major force in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World discovered a chaotic marvel, or even a myriad world marvel, in the myriad worlds issue that can produce a large number of 7th and 8th order cultivation resources in a short period of time. Then, they produced so many of these heavenly materials and earthly treasures that they couldn't digest them all internally, so they could only release them into the market of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. I wonder which lucky person is so fortunate. They obtained such a treasure. If it were me, forget it, it's better not to give me such a treasure. If I got it, I wouldn't dare to use it, nor would I dare to let my family members know, fearing others would discover the problem, nor would I dare to sell it and then be exposed by others. If I sell it for a high price, I can't keep it. If I sell it for a low price, I feel wronged and even more annoyed. This damned Hun Tian virtual world. Although the virtual world has many benefits and has greatly benefited all aspects of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. But there are also huge downsides, which is that it's especially easy to be exposed by others. Every day, countless people are either being exposed by others or on their way to expose others, without any privacy. You have a certain resentment towards the virtual world. It is precisely because of the virtual world that you are somewhat constrained when doing things. But there is no other way. Strong cultivators above the celestial venerable realm in the major thousand worlds have this privilege. Everything in the entire major thousand worlds serves those strong cultivators. These things cannot be changed. Only one's own strength can be changed. However, once you achieve the strongest, there will be no need for change. Because by that time, the virtual world will only have benefits and no disadvantages at all. In addition to the drop in prices of heavenly materials and earthly treasures in the major thousand worlds attracting a lot of attention, other financial news and entertainment news also had some attention-grabbing events. But you didn't pay too much attention to these matters. You just glanced at them quickly and then put them away, preparing to enjoy a period of good life. You went directly to the food spirit middle thousand world. In the past few 100,000 years, you haven't been to this middle thousand worlds, and you haven't eaten the various delicacies there for a long time. It just so happens that after you achieved the celestial venerable realm, among the hundreds of millions of privileges, one of them was being able to obtain a gourmet planet feast ticket every 100 years, and a gourmet galaxy feast ticket every 1,000 years. You have accumulated hundreds of galaxy feast tickets, and this time you plan to use them all up at once. Besides these planet and galaxy feast tickets, there are countless other fun places in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. You also have a large number of tickets for these places, totaling approximately hundreds of millions of tickets, and you plan to use them all up as well. If not used, they can only be given as family rewards to your descendants. Time flew by. While you were enjoying life at the very center of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, there was an incomparably magnificent, gigantic palace, built from hundreds of precious and special metals such as dark sky black gold, life emerald gold, vast sea blue gold, scarlet feather sky gold, and so on, exuding eternal immortality and endless divine light. It was suspended above this luxurious area, where every inch of land was as precious as gold. The endless immortal divine light it emitted, every wisp of it, could easily destroy a 12th-order existence. The power of the Tao, the power of the true Tao of fortune, enveloped the entire palace at all times, making the entire palace, with the Hun Tian Great Thousand World as its center, firmly suppress the fortune of the entire Hun Tian Great Thousand World. This palace, covering an area the size of tens of thousands of universes, needless to say, was naturally built by the strongest person in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, the force created by Hun Tian Tao Venerable himself. The Hun Tian Hall, main hall. Within this palace, there was a void space. This void space had lost the concept of time, the concept of space, and the concept of the Tao. A meeting was being held here, and this meeting only had a few hundred seats in total. Each seat was a stone chair, chaotic in color, suspended in this void space. Among them, more than 20 stone chairs glowed with golden light, a stark contrast to the ancient, chaotic color of their surroundings. The people seated in these positions were all the most top-tier existences in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, possessing unimaginable power. The authority that others could only dream of was merely an appendage of the power in their hands. This was because these individuals possessed 13-rank strength. They were revered by countless people as De Luo, perfect temporal beings, controllers of the multiverse, ultimate void, final fear, walkers on the timeline, and unknown existences beyond the other shore. And the people sitting in those 24 or so seats were the 14th-order existences who had survived in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World throughout countless epochs, from the world's inception until now. To be clear, they were the ones still alive. Around 30-odd had been born in total, but 10 had died in battles against an unknown number of major thousand worlds in previous eras. Now, only 24 or so remained. Although it was previously stated that 14th order existences of the same level could not kill each other unless one possessed the power to instantly obliterate the soul, physical body, great Tao, true spirit, traces of existence, and all other aspects of a peer. Even Hun Tian Tao divinity, the strongest in this major thousand worlds, could not instantly obliterate a peer. At most, he could severely injure them with one move, and then the opponent would instantly recover to their peak state the next second, never truly killable because they were of the same level. However, there are exceptions to everything in the world. The reason 13 rank and 14th order existences are so difficult to kill is due to their characteristic of one proof, eternal. It's because the difficulty of instantly obliterating all aspects of them is too high for peers. As long as you cannot kill the opponent with one move, no matter how much damage you inflict, they can instantly recover to their peak, as if they were never harmed. This is one proof, eternal, never regressing, only progressing, always maintaining a peak state, without severe injuries, Tao injuries, or any negative conditions. But if something could nullify this de luo characteristic of one proof, eternal, then that person would no longer be immortal. This something is all heavens and myriad realms wonder. World wonders that suppress the great Tao have the effect of suppressing all things, including the suppression of de luo characteristics. All heavens and myriad realms wonders with this attribute are far more valuable than other similar all heavens and myriad realms wonders. Among hundreds of surrounding major thousand worlds, only a mere dozen or so possess them. This includes the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, which is controlled by Hun Tian Tao divinity. Among major thousand worlds of the same level, those with a suppression type all heavens and myriad realms wonder, and those without are fundamentally different. Without this item, even if hundreds of major thousand worlds were to besiege the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World would remain unharmed, because these attacks would not cause real damage. Attacks that cannot kill are merely laughable. But the Hun Tian Great Thousand World can inflict real damage on them. It can kill them. Therefore, some major thousand worlds hold a much higher status than others. Those without can only be considered ordinary Great Thousand Worlds. Those with are top-tier major thousand worlds. Everyone, only about 200,000 years, remain until our agreed-upon time with the nightmare Great World. We have discussed this matter hundreds of billions of times among ourselves. We have already discussed all possible scenarios and reached conclusions. There is no need to bring this up again at this Great Thousand Conference for further discussion. Compared to this matter, there is another issue that requires attention and discussion. That is, in recent times, our major thousand worlds and other surrounding major thousand worlds have seen the emergence of many unknown, disposable attack methods that have reached the celestial venerable realm. These attack methods, of course, cannot harm the powerhouses of our world, but for those little ones in the 8th order realm and 9th order realm, they are enough to wipe them out entirely. Indeed, in this period, several 100 million third-class Hun Tian legions have already been annihilated by these attacks, which is roughly equivalent to 1,000th of the Hun Tian army possessed by a large city. Although the damage is not great, the insult is extreme. This is a provocation to our Hun Tian Great Thousand World. Just now, I used my divine sense to probe the surrounding all heavens and myriad realms void, and discovered a large number of these attack methods. On one of the golden seats, the organizer of this meeting, Extinction Heaven Tao Lord, looked at everyone present, his eyes filled with cold indifference. Don't misunderstand. This cold indifference was not because he had issues with others. It was simply that the world he came from had shaped his cold and indifferent personality. Extinction Heaven Tao Lord was not a native of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. He was a being from a middle thousand world's Khalid self, Will. Every middle thousand worlds can give birth to a world will with its own intelligence. Most of these world wills are kind, selfless, and maintain a friendly attitude towards the lives within their world. No other reason, there are mutual interests between them. When the strength of the lives within the world increases, they can feed back 10% of their power to the world will. In such a situation, a world will would have to be brain dead not to maintain friendliness towards the lives within its own world. Moreover, an intelligent world will use various methods to elevate its world's rank. An increase in world rank is a good thing for all lives within the entire world. Therefore, most worlds in the all heavens and myriad realms are not overly repulsed by the birth of intelligence in a world will. Of course, the main reason is that repulsion would be useless anyway. However, even though most world wills are good, there are some world wills that have a negative attitude towards the lives within their world. Some world wills believe that the lives they unconsciously created before were too trashy. Their cultivation speed was slow, their strength at the same level was not strong, and the feedback they provided was too little. This severely hindered their own progress in becoming stronger. Since these lives were so trashy, they naturally didn't deserve to live in his world, within his body. It would be better to simply destroy everyone and initiate a great annihilation. Then create a brand new race of gods. Just create a perfect race instead. Most life forms within a world, unless they receive external assistance, simply cannot defeat the world will. There's no way. The world will gathers the power of the entire world, and the lives within it are all nurtured by it. How could they possibly win? Extinction Heaven Tao Lord had previously left his world and obtained some opportunities while traveling through the myriad heavens void, making his strength in the self-will middle thousand worlds an existence that created a gap. He possessed strength far surpassing everyone else. A peak middle thousand worlds could at most give birth to an 11th tier existence, but Extinction Heaven Tao Lord's power at that time was already around 12th tier. It was precisely because of this that he was able to avoid being annihilated when the world will sought to destroy the world. Instead, he could contend with it as an equal, even suppressing the world will. Finally, when the Hun Tian Great Thousand Worlds World Exploration Team discovered this middle thousand worlds countless years ago, the world will of this world, the so-called Heaven's Tao. The heaven of the world had already been destroyed by Extinction Heaven Tao Lord. He then joined the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, and after cultivating for endless years, finally achieved his current terrifying 14th tier strength. However, the psychological damage caused by his past experiences still could not be mended. This made Extinction Heaven Tao Lord extremely resentful of sentient world wills, and he frequently promoted the evil Heaven's Tao world will destruction plan throughout the entire world. If the Hun Tian Great Thousand Worlds world will wasn't a good world will, he would probably have had the idea of destroying the Hun Tian Great Thousand Worlds will. Or perhaps he already had that idea, but it was deeply buried in his heart, and he hadn't told anyone. Perhaps one day, when Extinction Heaven Tao Lord accumulates enough power and believes he can destroy the Hun Tian Great Thousand Worlds world will, he might initiate another act of destroying heaven within the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. No. Extinction Heaven Tao Lord, this is not a provocation against our Hun Tian Great Thousand World. What you just said, that this situation is happening in hundreds of major thousand worlds around us, means this matter cannot be considered a mere provocation against us. This would easily lead this discussion into a thought trap, since the other party has done this to all major thousand worlds. Their intention must be to cause a certain degree of chaos among the surrounding major thousand worlds. This chaos must be beneficial to the person causing it. And those capable of doing such things, needless to say, are one of those major thousand worlds. The only thing that can benefit a major thousand worlds is a war that encompasses all major thousand worlds. The other party probably wants to use the local war between the ancient god Great Thousand World and the nightmare Great World as a starting point, gradually expanding the conflict between them into a full-scale war. Finally, with the two major thousand worlds as the fuse, they intend to sweep through the surrounding, already somewhat chaotic major thousand worlds, ultimately leading to a full-scale war involving all major thousand worlds. This is a very grand scheme. Ordinary major thousand worlds would certainly not dare to do such a thing. That leaves only the top-tier major thousand worlds. Very good. The target immediately narrowed from hundreds of major thousand worlds to more than 20 top-tier major thousand worlds. I just don't know which one it is. This is my thought. If you have guessed which one it is or have anything to add, you may speak. A Daluo-level existence present, wearing cultivation attire somewhat resembling a chef's uniform, known as Shiling Daluo in the outside world, spoke his thoughts after a billionth of a second of contemplation. Needless to say, he was the Daluo-level existence who had previously fought a local battle with the ancient god Great Thousand World over a food spirit Middle Thousand World, and is now the master of the food spirit Middle Thousand World. I have something to add here. Just now, I used my divine sense to investigate the myriad heavens void outside the Hun Tian world. There, I actually discovered the karmic lines of the sci-fi Great Thousand World. All of this seems to indicate that those events were caused by the sci-fi Great Thousand World. As one of the top-tier major thousand worlds, the sci-fi Great Thousand World fits the target world among the more than 20 top-tier major thousand worlds that Shiling Daluo just mentioned. However, the sci-fi Great Thousand World shouldn't be that foolish. There must be a significant misleading element to it. It seems that the mastermind behind these events must possess a wondrous item of the myriad heavens capable of concealing and disrupting karma, which is why they dared to do these things. What I want to add is that if this mastermind dares to concoct a plan to incite war among all major thousand worlds, then this plan certainly didn't just appear recently. It must have existed for a very, very long time. Because to achieve such a thing, the details are extremely important. Every aspect must be considered, and not a single mistake can be made. No clues can be left behind. Short-term plans are prone to errors. Only long-term, continuously refined plans will not go wrong. But if the plan existed long ago, why didn't this situation occur during previous battles between some major thousand worlds? And now it has appeared when the nightmare Great World and the ancient god Great Thousand World are engaged in a local war. This point is very important. Do you think it's possible that this mastermind knows that the war between these two worlds will escalate into a full-scale war in the near future? You must understand, causing a full-scale war between two major thousand worlds without their awareness is a very difficult thing. If this mastermind doesn't have the ability to do such a thing, then they can only wait for the right moment, waiting for the two major thousand worlds to initiate a full-scale war themselves. But now, a full-scale war hasn't yet erupted, and the other party has already made a move. This clearly indicates they know that these two major thousand worlds are about to enter a full-scale war. If that's the case, then the scope of the target can be further narrowed. After Shiling Daluo finished expressing his thoughts, another Daluo Golden Immortal also stated what he wanted to add. As he spoke, and after he had finished most of it, he looked at everyone's gazes fixed upon him. A smile couldn't help but form on his face. Those who can know in advance about the war between these two major thousand worlds are only those who will participate, which means the dozen or so major thousand worlds brought in by the nightmare Great World, and the few major thousand worlds brought in by the ancient god Great Thousand World, totaling over 20 major thousand worlds. Among these more than 20 major thousand worlds, including ourselves, there are 4 top-tier major thousand worlds: Hun Tian Great Thousand World, Sci-Fi Great Thousand World, Wizard Great Thousand World, and All People God Major Thousand Worlds. Excluding the fact that we wouldn't do such a thing, the scope immediately narrowed from hundreds of major thousand worlds to just 3 major thousand worlds. Subtracting the sci-fi Great Thousand World, which could be a red herring, leaves only the wizard Great Thousand World and the all-people God Major Thousand Worlds as possibilities. I just don't know which one it is. Personally, I think it's the all-people God Major Thousand Worlds. One by one, the powerful beings voice their thoughts, quickly narrowing down the targets to 2 top-tier Major Thousand Worlds. Some felt it was the wizard Great Thousand World, while others believed it was the all-people God Major Thousand Worlds. Both of these Major Thousand Worlds had reasons to invade other Major Thousand Worlds. Both were highly suspicious, but despite guessing that it was one of these 2 Major Thousand Worlds, none of the many powerful beings from the Hun Tian Great Thousand World who made this guess suggested telling all the Major Thousand Worlds about it. Don't ask why. The answer is that the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, as a top-tier Major Thousand Worlds, also very much desired this full-scale war encompassing hundreds of surrounding Major Thousand Worlds. Previously, he didn't do it because he secretly lacked the means to make all the Major Thousand Worlds fight among themselves, and openly initiating it would risk being jointly attacked and eliminated first. However, now that the wizard Great Thousand World had initiated such a plan, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World had no intention of disrupting it. On the contrary, he would silently support the success of this plan. At that time, when everyone else was fighting other Major Thousand Worlds, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World would then unite with the wizard Great Thousand World and a few other top-tier Major Thousand Worlds to see if they could take advantage of this wave to destroy dozens of Major Thousand Worlds. He would acquire vast resources, numerous worlds, and many all heavens and myriad realms wonders. Therefore, disrupting the wizard Great Thousand Worlds plan was simply unnecessary, completely unnecessary. This idea was also part of the wizard Great Thousand Worlds plan. It was extremely difficult to complete this plan completely unnoticed, even with the all heavens and myriad realms wonder that obscured and disrupted karma. It was absolutely impossible to make everyone unaware and unable to discover who did it. There is no truly perfect plan in the world. As long as it is executed and leaves traces, it will be discovered by others. But if those who discover the plan also actively conceal it, keep silent, and support the plan, then it could be said to be a plan infinitely close to perfection. This meeting lasted for more than an hour, until the figure in the white-gray robe, the Extinction Heaven Tao Lord, stood up from the golden seat in the very center, and the meeting finally concluded. It's over. I'll go and revive those deceased Hun Tian commanders and Hun Tian army members by revering time. This time, I won't charge them. Later, once we confirm which Major Thousand Worlds did it, then we'll extort a large sum from that Major Thousand Worlds. If people from our Major Thousand Worlds die at the hands of our own, it's a wasted death. But if they die at the hands of people from other Major Thousand Worlds, they must pay dearly. We'll teach them a harsh lesson. Seeing the meeting conclude, Extinction Heaven Tao Lord gently waved his hand. Instantly, the power of the great Tao of time, centered on the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, enveloped the endless void of the surrounding all heavens and myriad realms. An unseen river, reaching the heavens, appeared outside the Major Thousand Worlds. This long river had countless tributaries, and each tributary flowed with vast amounts of silver-white water. Within the tributaries, every drop of river water was as heavy as a small world. Upon careful inspection through a single drop, countless figures could be seen. Infants, youths, those in their prime, those in moments of despair and regret, as well as middle-aged figures dominating the world and the deathly aura of old age. All these figures shared the same face. It encompassed all moments of birth, aging, sickness, and death, representing the entire life of a seventh-order realm powerful being, containing his imprint and his past and future. And some eighth-order realm existences transformed into fry within the tributaries, while ninth-order realm existences were merely small fish in this river. Whether seventh-order, eighth-order, ninth-order, or the lofty 10-rank heavenly venerables and 12th-order realm existences, here, All were creatures of the river. The only difference was size. The smallest were mere water droplets, while the largest were like monstrous behemoths, similar to blue whales in the tributaries, devouring everything around them. Only beings whose strength surpassed everything, reaching the incredible realm of De Luo, could step out of this river, onto the banks of the tributaries, and look down upon everything within this long river. Looking down upon this river, revered by countless lives in the all heavens and myriad realms, as one of the three great long rivers of the all heavens and myriad realms, the river of time. Some say that time is the most incredible power in the all heavens and myriad realms. Time can erode everything, and nothing is significant before time. This is both accurate and inaccurate. For ordinary people, it is true, but for the strongest, it is a different matter entirely. He gently tapped this river of time with his finger. Time in the surrounding, all heavens and myriad realms void instantly froze. Everyone below De Luo, including you, no matter what they were doing, was paused in time. And in these all heavens and myriad realms voids, in the space around the small worlds where the Hun Tian army and Hun Tian commanders had died, time began to flow backward continuously. It rewound to the moment when these Hun Tian army members died. And then Extinction Heaven Dao Lord directly fished out some water droplets and small fish from the river of time, corresponding to that part of the all heavens and myriad realms void. After being fished out, every single one of them had their time reversed and was resurrected. With everyone resurrected by time reversal, the time pause ended, and the Hun Tian Great Thousand World and the surrounding all heavens and myriad realms void resumed their operation. Unless someone could detect a few seconds of desynchronization between the time of this all heavens and myriad realms void, major thousand worlds, and the all heavens and myriad realms. Otherwise, probably no one would have imagined that a large-scale time reversal had just occurred here. After resolving all of this, Extinction Heaven Dao Lord instantly vanished from this void space, returning to the headquarters of the Hun Tian Virtual Bank that he founded to take charge. Is this the power of those above the grand unity realm, the power to reverse time and space? Forcibly freezing all surrounding time and space, allowing the surrounding time to become disconnected from the all heavens and myriad realms, and even directly summoning the river of time, from which he fishes out the water droplets and fish. Releasing them counts as resurrection. This method is truly terrifying. I wonder when I will be able to achieve this realm. I really want to achieve it sooner. I hope that the later 6th, 7th, and 8th will work a little harder, work hard like oxen and horses, so I can experience this powerful strength sooner. Outside the simulator, even though Chu He could not personally experience the power of revering the river of time, just reading the description made him feel that this method was incredibly awesome. The power of time. This power is the most top-tier power no matter where it is, no matter in which world. Giving the ability to pause time to someone in a minor 1,000 worlds or middle 1,000 worlds would make that person the protagonist, the child of fortune, an invincible figure in that world. Of course, this time-pausing ability needs to reach the level of the great Tao of time. If one only masters ordinary time rules, then at most, one can dominate in a small world, but in a minor 1,000 worlds, one would be nothing more than a roadside pebble. Keep watching, keep watching. With the help of the simulator, achieving the grand unity realm is only a matter of time. You are unaware of what is happening in the center of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. If you knew, you would probably prepare in advance, for example, by selling all the heavenly treasures in your family. Otherwise, your family's Hun Tian gold wealth would probably be directly halved. Because once war breaks out, the price of all heavenly treasures in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World will experience a major slump, dropping drastically. When ordinary worlds go to war, the prices of various materials rise, but the major 1,000 worlds is different. After so many years of accumulated heritage, no one in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, except for those at or above the grand unity realm, knows how many heavenly treasures of seventh order and above they collectively possess. Seventh order heavenly treasures generally mature once every 100,000 years or so, and a peak minor 1,000 worlds can cultivate a total of 100,000 different kinds of heavenly treasures at one time. This is because the total spiritual energy of heaven and earth can only supply so much. However, if combined with the 1963rd generation conversion array developed by the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, which can convert the void energy from the outer all heavens and myriad realms into spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and apply it to these peak minor 1,000 worlds, then it would be possible to cultivate 5 million different kinds of heavenly treasures at once. The lifespan of a peak minor 1,000 worlds is roughly several 100 trillion years. 5 million treasures every 100,000 years. In such a long period for a single peak minor 1,000 worlds, who knows how many heavenly treasures can be produced? Since the Hun Tian Great Thousand World began invading worlds so many years ago, they themselves do not know how many peak minor 1,000 worlds they possess. A single major city alone has an unknown number of hundreds of trillions of third-class Hun Tian army, and each Hun Tian army on average conquers at least one early-stage minor 1,000 worlds every 200 years. Not to mention, above peak minor 1,000 worlds there are middle 1,000 worlds and peak middle 1,000 worlds. These worlds produce even more unknown quantities of seventh order and above heavenly treasures each year. Countless. Therefore, war is not a burden for the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. On the contrary, it is a good thing, an excellent opportunity for them to dump large quantities of heavenly treasures. A large number of heavenly treasures will be continuously sold off by countless major forces at rock-bottom prices. As a result, the market price of heavenly treasures will at least be halved, and in severe cases, it could drop by more than 5 times. This is great news for ordinary people, but for other family forces besides the major ones, it is bad news. After selling all the heavenly treasures in your family, the second thing you do is borrow money everywhere, work hard to earn money, and wait for the big price drop to come. Then, directly buy at the bottom. Your net worth skyrocketing several times is no longer a dream. Mom and Dad no longer have to worry about me running out of money. In the blink of an eye, more than 100,000 years passed in the all heavens and myriad realms. During these 100,000 years, your family once again experienced significant development. The number of ninth-order realm powerhouses has already exceeded 1 million, forming 500,000 third-class Hunshan legions, with over 100 of them being titled Hun Tian armies of 7 stars or higher. These Hun Tian army brought a large amount of Hun Tian gold to the Chu family, increasing the number of 7th order and above powerhouses in your family by several 100 times. This is due to your family being extremely prolific. And you, this old ancestor, are not stingy with spending Hun Tian gold. You are especially generous. This has given your family a small reputation in the Tao domain where you reside. At least, those who frequently visit the virtual world in the same city have heard of your family. The Chu family of heavenly venerate. And the name of your Chu family old ancestor, Chu He. Countless people dream of being reborn into your family because it is simply too good. Not only is everyone talented, but there are also abundant cultivation resources and excellent benefits. As long as one works hard, they can achieve the 7th order realm. Who wouldn't dream of going to such a place? However, while your family only has a small reputation in one Tao domain, your descendant, Chu Yun, has a small reputation throughout the entire Hun Tian Great Thousand World. Hun Tian Great Thousand World Heavenly Pride Ranking, 930,000th place, 10-star Hun Tian Commander Combat Power. The current heavenly pride of the Chu family, possessing the bloodline of an undying king, naturally commanding a bit of minor indestructible Tao power, fighting against heaven and earth, invincible in every battle. His life is either spent fighting others or on the way to battle, never suffering a single defeat. He has been rated as being among the peerless heavenly pride of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. Currently, his comprehension of the minor indestructible Tao has reached 10%. He only needs the last 90% or so to successfully break through. This will take at most about 10 million years. Although there is a significant gap compared to you, he is worthy of the title of peerless heavenly pride. After cultivating for over 100,000 years, my strength has only increased by a tiny bit. This feeling, compared to the previous one where I'd break through a major realm every few thousand years, it's truly incomparable. If this continues, I'm afraid it will take hundreds of millions, even thousands of millions of years or more, to break through to a higher great realm. This is simply. Why can't there be a large number of cultivators at the same level for me to kill, like when I was in the 8th order and 9th order realm? Why can't I invade as many minor thousand worlds as I want, like when I became a Hun Tian commander, and easily obtain a large amount of cultivation resources? Now doing this, I really want to kill to my heart's content. Coming out of his cultivation room, he brewed a pot of purple moon tea, which was worth hundreds of millions of Hun Tian gold outside, and could significantly enhance a 9th order realm cultivator's comprehension, leading to several enlightenment experiences. A helpless expression appeared on your face. If only I were someone from the ancient god Great Thousand World, or the nightmare Great World, that would be great. Then, during the hundreds of thousands of years of war between the two sides, I would have gained endless benefits and already achieved the celestial venerable realm. And I wouldn't be stuck at this realm. For an existence like me, whose combat power far exceeds that of others at the same level by an unknown multiple, only the battlefield is the best catalyst, the best heavenly material and earthly treasure. Hun Tian Great Thousand World, when will you engage in a great war with other major thousand worlds? Chu He, today. After lamenting his uneventful hundreds of thousands of years of cultivation, you plan to set off again into the void of the heavens to search for some heavenly materials and earthly treasures to help him break through. However, at this moment, the virtual world bracelet on your hand vibrated repeatedly. A notification from the virtual world that there was an important situation that needed immediate attention. You had never encountered such a situation before. You heard that only matters concerning the entire Hun Tian Great Thousand World would cause the virtual world to notify everyone. In the past, most of these situations either involved the appearance of enemies above the 14th order, or an invasion by other major thousand worlds, or the Hun Tian Great Thousand World was preparing to invade other worlds. Did my mouth somehow gain the ability to make words come true? Just as I spoke of invading other major thousand worlds, this vibration occurred. Is it that miraculous? With strong curiosity, you open the virtual world. A large announcement, with huge golden characters, appeared at the very top of the virtual world news feed and was pinned, ensuring everyone could see it immediately. Starting today, our Hun Tian Great Thousand World, Saint King Major Thousand Worlds, Extermination Major Thousand Worlds, Wizard Great Thousand World, Immortal End Major Thousand Worlds, Sci-Fi Heavenly Court Major Thousand Worlds, Myriad Buddha Major Thousand Worlds, Tao Heaven Major Thousand Worlds, All People God World, Undying Major Thousand Worlds, Son of Destiny Major Thousand Worlds, Nightmare Great World, and a total of 15 Major Thousand Worlds, are officially declaring war on the ancient God Great Thousand World, Eternal Life Major Thousand Worlds, Heaven's Mandate Major Thousand Worlds, and 5 other Major Thousand Worlds. All powerhouses above the 7th order can choose to join or not join this battlefield. However, all existences above the celestial venerable realm in our Hun Tian Great Thousand World, according to the highest directive of the Hun Tian Hall, must all arrive outside the nightmare Great World to participate in this war. Failure to do so will result in execution for treason. Everyone, this invasion war is an opportunity for all of you, a grand feast for all of you. remember to seize every opportunity in your life. In this invasion of the major thousand worlds, everyone who contributes to the invasion war, regardless of their realm, will have 3 opportunities to be resurrected by an existence at the Great Luo level. As this news reached the eyes of everyone in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, whether they were ordinary 7th-order realm cultivators or those above the celestial venerable realm, their eyes all revealed expressions of fervent desire. That was an endless longing for invasion wars. Through the Hun Tian Great Thousand World's countless years of continuously encouraging world invasions, every cultivator above the 7th order, if they wanted to become powerful, had to experience invasion wars again and again. From these invasion wars, they plundered all the endless cultivation resources to make themselves even stronger. In this mode of invasion, plunder, and becoming stronger, everyone had no fear of invasion wars. They only wondered why it hadn't started yet. This morale, this mindset towards war. It can be said that, at this moment, if the Hun Tian army faced another legion of equal strength and realm, the Hun Tian army could achieve a record of 1 against 10. Although this time they were facing major thousand worlds of the same level, not the minor thousand worlds and small worlds of the past, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World had no absolute advantage or special advantage against these major thousand worlds. Everyone had come from invading worlds and plundering everything. There was not much difference in strength, morale, or combat power. Under such circumstances, if they wanted to defeat the enemy one-on-one, it could only end in mutual destruction. However, this could not stop the Hun Tian Great Thousand World's desire for war, nor could it make them feel any fear about invading major thousand worlds of the same level. Whether they could win or not, they would only know after fighting. Moreover, their side, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, had an absolute advantage in numbers. 15 major thousand worlds against 5 major thousand worlds, 3 against 1. One-on-one might not determine a winner, but 3 against 1 would definitely win. Their Hun Tian army loved to gang up on others. I've long been annoyed with that ancient god Great Thousand World. They're just a bunch of barbarians, and they often clash with our Hun Tian Great Thousand World. If it weren't for the fact that our world's high-ranking officials didn't intend to wage a great war with them before, that ancient god Great Thousand World would have been destroyed by us long ago. How could it still exist next to our world? This time, we must destroy it and give a shock to the surrounding major thousand worlds. Let them know how big the gap is between their world and our Hun Tian Great Thousand World. Haha, the day has finally come. Heaven has eyes, the day has finally come. Do you know how long I've waited for this day? The last time we invaded a middle thousand worlds, my Hun Tian army and my Dao companions Legion encountered the ancient god Legion from the ancient god Great Thousand World. In that battle, our Hun Tian army and their ancient god Legion neither won nor lost, but I lost everything. My Dao companion was snatched away by someone from the ancient god Great Thousand World, and I, like an incompetent husband, could only watch helplessly. I wanted to fight to the death, but I was powerless. Because I couldn't defeat them, they could easily crush me. Now, after so much time, my strength has improved. And I've finally waited for this day. This time, I will not retreat. I will not let myself regret it for the rest of my life again. Brother upstairs, I support you. Woo-woo-woo, what a touching story. For the sake of his beloved, he continuously cultivated and waited just for this day. I'm going to post this touching story on Zio Hongshu. Kill, kill, kill. Since achieving the celestial venerable realm millions of trillions of years ago, my strength and realm have advanced to the 5-fold Dao fusion stage. With just 5 more Dao fusions, I can break through to the 11th order God venerable realm. Originally, I was still wondering where to acquire the remaining cultivation resources. Now that a major thousand worlds level invasion war has emerged, it's a perfect opportunity. I'll use the baptism of this invasion to further my progress and achieve the God venerable realm. Having lived for tens of millions of trillions of years, this is the first time I've encountered a major thousand worlds-level invasion war in my life. I feel nothing but excitement and my blood boiling. Just thinking about that grand scene, that feeling of countless powerhouses clashing, already makes me eager to experience it immediately. I heard that the people in the ancient god Great Thousand World are particularly powerful in terms of physical strength. I wonder if their physical defense is stronger. Or is the power of my destruction minor Tao, a branch of the great Tao of destruction, even more terrifying? The strongest shield, the strongest spear. I heard that in this invasion war, there will be several super first-tier celebrities who have comprehended the minor Tao of emotion, and hundreds of first-tier celebrities acting as cheerleaders to boost our morale. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, then we'll have a feast for our eyes. It's not just a feast for the eyes. These cheerleaders, by using the power of the Tao of emotion, can increase the strength of everyone they encourage by at least 10%. This is an increase for everyone. In the virtual world, the comment sections of various news articles and videos related to the invasion of the ancient god world were already filled with all sorts of discussions. Any random video had comments in the hundreds of quintillions, and they were still increasing at an unknown rate of trillions per second. Looking at these videos and the messages published by the Hun Tian Hall, your eyes radiated an endless, fervent glow, a fanaticism for war. Although I don't know why the Hun Tian Great Thousand World suddenly decided to unite with so many worlds to invade the ancient god Great Thousand World. But who cares? As long as there's a battle to fight, it's exhilarating. 15 against 5, the advantage is mine. I wonder how many celestial venerable realm existences there are among these 5 major thousand worlds. It should be enough for me to kill my fill. I just don't know, if I accidentally kill too many, will the powerhouses in those 5 major thousand worlds get upset and resort to bullying, with a powerful expert suddenly appearing to ambush me, a little kid? If they really can't handle it, then I'll just have to kill them in the next simulation. You weren't particularly interested in understanding why the ancient god Great Thousand World was being invaded, nor did you have the means to find out. What you wanted to know most right now was why no Jushin warship had arrived to pick you up near the ancient god Great Thousand World yet. You were already impatient, eager to contribute to your home, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. Besides that, the second thing you wanted to know was if the 3 resurrection opportunities could be sold. If so, how much Hun Tian gold could they fetch? This item was useless to you, just a decoration. The powerhouses of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World couldn't revive you at all, because once you died, everyone in the entire all heavens and myriad realms would die with you. Everyone would die at the same time. In such a situation, who could act to revive you? Who had the ability to revive you? It's not like dead people could help you revive, so it would be better to sell this item, exchange it for a little Hun Tian gold, and improve your strength. Continuing to browse the message, you started looking at what benefits could be gained from killing a cultivator of the same rank. You had no intention of looting benefits from the cultivators you killed, because the ancient god Great Thousand World also had its own virtual world. It had its own virtual world bank, using ancient god coins. The money of the powerhouses in the ancient god Great Thousand World was all stored in the virtual bank, so looting wouldn't yield anything. The bulk of the harvest still depended on the rewards from the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. If the rewards from the Hun Tian Great Thousand World were too meager, then there was nothing you could do. You would just have to throw the fight. You would just have to slack off. You do as much as you're paid. With such a small amount of money, your enthusiasm for bravely fighting for your home, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, and shedding sweat was completely gone. That once fervent heart was now utterly cold. Rewards: killing a 7th-order realm cultivator grants 5 units of Hun Tian gold. An 8th order realm cultivator rewards 10 heavenly materials and earthly treasures of the same rank. A 9th order realm cultivator rewards 30 heavenly materials and earthly treasures of the same rank. Killing a celestial venerable realm existence rewards 30 celestial venerable level heavenly materials and earthly treasures, or 3 ordinary Tao fusion-related treasures. Killing about 20 cultivators of the same rank will allow me to achieve the God Venerable realm. These rewards are perfectly fine. Let's go, name a number. First, let's kill 10,000 to whet my appetite. With the rewards in place, there was nothing more to say. As long as the rewards were sufficient, even if you had to face the siege of all cultivators of the same rank from 5 major 1,000 worlds alone, you could put on a show for everyone in the Hun Tian Great 1,000 world. To show them what true invincibility among peers means. What is absolute dominance among peers? One person fighting trillions or billions of peers is a piece of cake, without even a single hair being harmed. I'll take your surname. Do you know what it means to be a player with cheats activated? Do you really think I'm joking? While you were looking forward to the Jushin warship taking you to the ancient god Great 1,000 world, you didn't get the Jushin warship. All you got was a message from the Hun Tian branch hall asking you to go there. A great Luo-level existence who controls the great Tao of space had just created a teleportation array there, which could directly transport you from here to the vicinity of the ancient god Great 1,000 world. Jushin warships are only suitable for invading surrounding worlds. They are not very useful for invading a major 1,000 worlds like this. Even the most top-tier Jushin warship would take several hundred years to reach there. By that time, the daylilies would have long been cold. Without any hesitation, you instantly vanished from the Hun Tian Great 1,000 world through the teleportation array. When you reappeared, you were not in the all heavens void. Instead, you appeared in a middle 1,000 worlds. This middle 1,000 worlds was a war fortress and stronghold that the Hun Tian Great 1,000 world had spent countless resources to transform. This war stronghold, after being modified by numerous technology companies from the Hun Tian Great 1,000 world, was equipped with trillions of celestial venerable realm-level destruction cannons. Each celestial venerable realm-level destruction cannon had a muzzle diameter the size of a galaxy. With such a large caliber, one shot could destroy tens of billions of light-years of heaven and earth. It also contained the power of the Tao, belonging to celestial venerable realm-level attacks. Among these numerous celestial venerable realm-level destruction cannons, there were also hundreds of millions of God venerable level annihilation cannons, each capable of directly destroying thousands of universes. Even when facing the encirclement of tens of thousands of God venerable level powerhouses, plus billions of celestial venerable level powerhouses, there would absolutely be no problem. It could be said to be impregnable. And the Hun Tian Great 1,000 world had prepared nearly several million such middle 1,000 worlds war strongholds this time. It wasn't too many, just serving as a forward gathering point. There was no need for too many, after all. The Hun Tian Great 1,000 world didn't rely on these war strongholds for combat. They were merely places for logistics and preparation, a resting place for frontline powerhouses after battles, and a destination for powerhouses from the rear to teleport to. It arrived in an instant. I instantly arrived in another major 1,000 worlds, a place that would have taken me an unknown number of years to reach. Is this the power of the great Tao of space? It's truly miraculous. Only such existences can truly travel through the all heavens and myriad realms. Other weaker cultivators, even if they could enter the all heavens void, might never be able to travel from one major 1,000 worlds to another in their entire lives. They can only live their entire lives in some remote corner, deluding themselves into thinking they've seen the true all heavens and myriad realms. Seeing the surrounding scene, a look of shock appeared on your face. This was the first time in your life you had felt the power of a great Lu-level powerhouse. Before, you had only heard of it, never seen or felt it. This time, just feeling a tiny, insignificant bit of such a powerhouse's power gave you much to ponder. This feeling even made you temporarily overlook the scene of powerhouses being as common as dogs around you. After a few seconds, you finally looked around. With a slight sweep of your divine sense through some of the surrounding buildings, you sense the auras of numerous peer-level existences. Too many, too many. You couldn't count how many there were. This time, all powerhouses above the celestial venerable realm in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World had come. Without exception, everyone who could be teleported in the first batch was at least a celestial venerable. With so many people distributed among several million middle thousand worlds, each war stronghold could accommodate hundreds of billions of celestial venerable realm-level cultivators. Damn it! I originally thought that achieving the celestial venerable realm would already qualify me as a high-level powerhouse in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. And in fact, that was true. Every celestial venerable possesses a territory the size of a universe in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, roughly equivalent to an ordinary middle thousand worlds. They are above an unknown number of Hun Tian people. Outside, they could also become the lord of a middle thousand worlds, doing whatever the hell they wanted. However, with so many peer-level cultivators suddenly gathered together, it gives one the feeling that the celestial venerable realm has suddenly become commonplace again. Is this my problem, or the major thousand worlds' problem? Feeling like you had become an ordinary, commonplace cultivator again, you were more or less a bit depressed. Depressed, you only wanted to become stronger quickly, to break through to a higher realm quickly. Even at the 11th rank, it's still somewhat commonplace, and there are still many in the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. There is one in every large city, and there are 80,000 large cities in a Dao domain, meaning over 80,000. And the Hun Tian Great Thousand World has hundreds of millions of Dao domains, so there are at least over 10 trillion. However, this is only relatively speaking. My great axe is already thirsty. Raising your black gold battle axe, you connected to the frontline war through your virtual wristband, to the virtual world that had just been set up, and began to check the current war situation at the front. Soon, you learned about the intensity of the current war. Currently, the 15 major thousand worlds on your side of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World had already started fighting with the people from the ancient god Great Thousand World. They started fighting even before the news of invading the major thousand worlds was announced in the Hun Tian Great Thousand Worlds virtual world. The news was announced after the fighting began, and now the fighting is extremely fierce. In the battlefield, there are roughly tens of thousands of great Luo level and above powerhouses from both sides, all of whom have already gone to the deeper, all heaven's void to engage in a great battle. There are roughly 7,000 great Luo on your side, fighting against 3,000 great Luo from the ancient god Great Thousand World. According to others, they have already started to suppress the opponents. This is good news. Below the Great Luo, 3 major battlefields have been roughly divided. Everyone has a tacit understanding that 12th rank powerhouses are in one battlefield, 11th rank powerhouses are in another, and 10 rank celestial venerable realm powerhouses are clustered together in one battlefield. None of them interfere with the battlefields of lower realm powerhouses. And the 10 rank celestial venerable realm battlefield you are heading to is roughly divided into tens of thousands of war zones, with tens of trillions of cultivators of the same level fighting in each war zone. Currently, there are still a continuous stream of people entering these war zones. It is estimated that if new war zones are not opened, each war zone will have at least several quadrillion cultivators of the same level. Each major thousand worlds has contributed at least tens of trillions of celestial venerable realm cultivators to a single war zone, and together, this has created such a grand spectacle. Grand scale, truly a grand scale. Looking at this information, you are already eager to enter these war zones and experience the atmosphere within. You find a nearby staff member, register your character ID, and randomly select War Zone 93. You don't need to team up with others, nor do you need to form a Celestial Venerable Legion, a legion composed of Celestial Venerable Realm powerhouses, to enter. Legions are something only cultivators below the Celestial Venerable Realm would form. Battles between cultivators at or above the Celestial Venerable Realm are all fought individually. At this level, the effects of group combat are far less significant than the effects of individual combat. Especially for legions with no synergy whatsoever, the effect is truly inferior to individual free-for-all combat. Anyway, everyone just enters a certain area of the all-heavens void, and they fight whoever they see, kill whoever they see. As long as they wear their virtual bracelet, the virtual bracelet will display the difference between enemies and allies, so they don't kill their own people. Anyway, inside, besides allies, everyone you see is an enemy, and even allies might be enemies. Stepping out of the middle 1,000 worlds and into the all-heavens void, the originally dark and desolate all-heavens void was now emitting an incomparably dazzling light. All kinds of light, energy explosions, and clashes of Tao burst forth in the outer all-heavens void, between two celestial venerable realm cultivators of the same level. Every moment, they exchanged blows an unknown number of trillions of times, and the power of the Tao they each comprehended constantly collided. In an instant, the surrounding trillions of light-years of the all-heavens void were shattered by their battle. That's equivalent to the size of a single universe. With intense fervor, you quickly entered War Zone 93. The moment you entered, you were met with a warm welcome. Tens of billions of attacks, flying from who knows where, all struck you at once. Among these attacks were witchcraft released by powerhouses from the wizard Great Thousand World, and spacetime destructive technological attacks launched by powerhouses from the sci-fi Heavenly Court world, manipulating technological battleships. There were also the power of faith and world divine power wielded by the all-people deity world, as well as pure physical attacks launched with a single punch by powerhouses from the ancient god Great Thousand World. Everything imaginable was there. These attacks directly submerged several universe-sized areas of the all-heavens void around you, and from the outside, your figure was no longer visible. This is exhilarating, truly exhilarating. This is the Zhu Tian War I've been waiting for. Since you all made the first move, then don't blame this old ancestor for not considering the camaraderie of allies. Scarlet light emanated from your eyes as the golden, invincible big guy came online again. Having endured so many attacks of the same level, not a single hair on your body was damaged. The power of the minor, indestructible day afloat around you. The massive black gold battle axe, lifted by you, the golden big guy whose body exceeded hundreds of millions of light years, made you look like a demon god of destruction. A ferocious smile spread across your face, making anyone who saw it feel a chill deep in their heart. Unrivaled harvest mode activated. Once Pandora's box is opened by others, it can never be closed again. Kill them all. Boom tilde tilde tilde. Boom tilde tilde tilde. Boom tilde tilde tilde. The terrifying giant axe swung out, and a heaven-piercing axe light shattered the surrounding infinite void, slashing towards a celestial venerable realm cultivator from an unknown faction nearby. To prevent being dissected, you only used about 100 times more power than those of the same level. But even with just this much power, it was not something ordinary cultivators of the same level could withstand. 1 second, directly severely wounded. 10 seconds, directly entered a critical state. 3 minutes later, they were completely gone, only able to await resurrection by the Daluo-level powerhouses behind them, who would reverse time. After killing a cultivator of the same level, you were completely immersed in the atmosphere of war. Completely insane. In 1 second, you attacked trillions of times from all directions with no blind spots. Countless golden, heaven-piercing axe lights shattered everything around you, splitting open an unknown number of spatial rifts. These attacks seemed to have auto-aim. As long as they weren't from the same faction, they would be directly attacked. Countless explosions that shook the heavens appeared in War Zone 93. This wave directly severely wounded an unknown number of cultivators of the same level. You couldn't even count them. There's no need to count either. Each war zone has a Hun Tian council that monitors everyone's combat situation in real time. Every action you take, every person you kill or severely wound will be recorded, and then merits will be fairly distributed. Not a single point less, not a single point more. After you severely wounded so many cultivators of the same level at once, tens of thousands of enemy cultivators in this marginal area of War Zone 93 immediately noticed you. Among them, those you severely wounded glared at you with fury, looking at you as if you were their father's murderer, as if their parents had just been killed by you. Then, in the first instant, everyone launched trillions of waves of attacks at you. Countless attacks surged towards you, all full-strength strikes imbued with the power of Tao. Damn it, you bunch of nascent Eastern dawns and setting Western suns, you can't handle it, you little trash, you have no strength. I was honestly going to fight you one-on-one, but you're playing group combat with me. Group combat? Do you even know how to play group combat? 15 against 5, are you even fit to play group combat? Don't you know what your situation is even now? Seeing so many attacks coming your way, you revealed an incomparably arrogant and wild smile. You felt no fear. Instead, you became even more excited. This is the war you wanted. This is the war you wanted. Compared to these, the previous wars invading minor thousand worlds were like playing house, completely devoid of fun. Before the attacks from those hundreds of thousands of people could land on you, the people from your faction, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, the people from the Wizard Great Thousand World, the people from the Eternal Life Great World, and the people sent by a dozen other major thousand worlds were not dead. Seeing that you, a powerful ally, were being attacked without any hesitation, over 1 million people instantly erupted with all their power, and countless attacks instantly shattered those incoming attacks. Even more attacks then engulfed those hundreds of thousands of people. This was a grand war. Everyone contributed their strength. Every powerful witch from the Wizard Great Thousand World, piloting their floating cities, each tens of millions of light years in size, unleashed countless terrifying energy attacks from witch artifacts shaped like cannons, the bright yellow explosions illuminating the surrounding all-heavens void. The 10-rank high gods from the all-people god world manifested projections of their divine realms, each over 1 billion light years in size, behind them. Countless ordinary people, transcendents, and various fantasy-type beings knelt on the ground, offering the purest power of faith to their immensely great high gods. 12 divine rings continuously rotated behind their heads, their divine might vast, and infinite divinity suppressed the surrounding all-heavens void. The Saint King Major Thousand Worlds cultivated the Xuanyuan system. Countless beings, who would be called great emperors of their era in their original world, unleashed the power of the Tao they controlled. Their emperor weapons killed anyone they saw, and their combat power could be described as exceptionally fierce. Their attack power was so immense that even the great Tao was ground into oblivion by them. The people from the immortal Major Thousand Worlds, these people were somewhat rogue, because their world contained a Zhu Tian oddity that allowed everyone in the Major Thousand Worlds to possess immortal characteristics, so they couldn't be killed no matter how much they were attacked. They were the true meat shields on this battlefield. The beings from the 10,000 Buddhas Major Thousand Worlds, one powerful Buddha after another, released their Dharma heaven and earth, Buddha golden body, and Buddha original form. Golden Buddha light, Buddha chants, and Buddha sounds permeated the entire all-heavens void, making it seem as if one had arrived in a land of 10,000 Buddhas. Ordinary ninth-order realm cultivators, upon seeing this scene and being illuminated by this Buddha light, would be directly brainwashed and become one of them. The many Buddhas who were once so compassionate in the 10,000 Buddhas, Major Thousand Worlds, had now all transformed into wrathful Vajras. They would casually invoke Great Might Heavenly Dragon, world-honored Siddhagarbha, and so on. After the people around you helped you block the attacks, you became even more arrogant. You continued to madly attack in all directions, unleashing hundreds of millions or even trillions of attacks every second, striking the people from the ancient god Great Thousand World. The speed of these attacks was all about saturation bombardment, all about the thrill of combat. You were tireless. The energy and stamina consumed by these attacks were not replenished as quickly as you recovered. You attacked for several hours straight. Although you only eliminated a few dozen cultivators of the same rank in such a long time, you severely injured tens of thousands of them. You incurred the hatred of several million cultivators of the same rank. It could be said that you had a knack for drawing aggro. You had already become the most hated person in this 93rd battle zone. Everyone in the ancient god Great Thousand World wished they could kill you. The bounty for killing you in the ancient god Great Thousand World had increased significantly. Killing an ordinary celestial venerable realm cultivator would only reward 30 celestial venerable level heavenly treasures, but killing you would reward over 1,000 heavenly treasures of the same rank. You were unaware of this, but if you knew, you would be very happy, because then more people would attack you, and you wished for the storm to come even more fiercely. You had completely lost your head. You now felt that whether you died in this simulation was not important, but you wanted everyone else to die. You continued to kill and fight madly, eliminating one cultivator of the same rank every 10 minutes, without exposing your full strength, only using a fraction of it. Your battle achievements were constantly accumulating. In just 10 days, you killed over 1,000 cultivators of the same rank. This immense strength made everyone in this 93rd battle zone recognize you. Some called you a battlefield lunatic, a battlefield madman, because you attacked indiscriminately, even killing allies if they blocked your path. This was because there would be no repercussions for killing allies. The battlefield itself was a place where it was difficult to distinguish friend from foe, and sometimes, when fighting, one simply couldn't recognize allies. Therefore, the Hun Tian Great Thousand World was also very understanding. Allies could also be killed, even intentionally, as long as after killing an ally, you used the battle achievements from killing 2 enemies to offset it. These 2 battle achievements were considered the price for stronger beings above the great principal golden immortal realm to resurrect that ally. If resurrection were not possible, then killing an ally would certainly be a major taboo on the battlefield. But since everything could be resurrected anyway, killing an ally was not a big deal. The Hun Tian Great Thousand World also did not need to worry about what negative impact the news of not being punished or executed for killing allies would have on morale among other celestial venerable realm powerhouses. Celestial venerable realm powerhouses were not ordinary people. They wouldn't be swayed by every wind, rain, or water, nor would they lack any judgment. They had lived for so long, seen everything, and each was an old immortal among old immortals. Ordinary people might have their morale affected by this news, but how could celestial venerable level beings be affected by a single piece of news? Since the celestial venerables on the battlefield didn't care, and the great principal golden immortal level beings of the Hun Tian Great Thousand World who could resurrect also didn't care, then killing allies was a minor matter. As long as you were happy. On the 11th day of invading the ancient god Great Thousand World, after eliminating another cultivator of the same rank, you prepared to leave, as you had acquired enough cultivation resources. You could go to the rear to rest, break through to the 11th Order realm, and then proceed to higher battlefields to contribute to the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. However, before you could leave, those people from the Eternal Life Great World and the Ancient God Great Thousand World, who had originally avoided you and fled far away before even seeing you, reappeared. In your perception, 3 people were rapidly moving towards your position. These 3 individuals hail from the Ancient God Great Thousand World, the Eternal Life Great World, and the Heavens Mandate Great Chiliacosm. Every person in the Ancient God Great Thousand World, even without manifesting their Dharma idol, already possesses a body size exceeding 1,000,000 light-years. The combat prowess of individuals in the eternal life great world isn't particularly special. The only unique aspect that allowed them to become a major thousand worlds is their extraordinarily long lifespans, which generally exceed those of their peers by more than 100-fold. An ordinary 7th-tier cultivator has a lifespan of over 10 billion years. The advantage of a long lifespan is that ordinary cultivators have more ample time to break through to higher realms. There's a high probability that 6th-tier cultivators can break through to the 7th tier. With many more strong 7th-tier cultivators and a larger base, there will naturally be more 8th-tier cultivators. As cultivators at each level increase, the eternal life great world ends up with more high-level powerhouses than other major thousand worlds. In the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, there are only a few hundred powerhouses above the Daluo level, but in the eternal life great world, there are over 1,000. As for 14th-tier Hunyuan Daluo existences, the eternal life great world has around 40. It's only because the eternal life great world lacks a suppressive type of Zhu Tian strange thing that it remains a regular large world. If it were to acquire a suppressive type of Zhu Tian strange thing, the eternal life great world could immediately become a top-tier major thousand worlds, and one capable of fighting 2 top-tier major thousand worlds simultaneously. However, this type of Zhu Tian strange thing is not easy to find, and luck is also a form of strength. If luck isn't on your side, then it just isn't. People in the heavens mandate great Chiliaka's mare born with a certain fate. Some are born into wealthy families, some are destined to be powerful, and some are born short-lived. Whatever their fate, their future will most likely reflect it. Only 1 in 100 million has the chance to change their fate and become a transcendent of fate. The reason the heavens mandate great Chiliakasm was able to transform from a small world into its current major thousand worlds over, a vast period lies in this unique aspect. Every transcendent of fate, once they surpass their original destiny, gains infinite possibilities for their future. It's possible that their future will only change slightly, remaining an ordinary, lower-class person, but some people's fates undergo immense changes, with the potential to achieve the rank of heavenly venerate or divine venerate. As for Daluo, that's not possible, because only those whose fate allows them to achieve Daluo can do so. Others have no possibility of achieving it. These 3 individuals are among the most exceptional existences at their respective levels within their 3 worlds. They are infinitely close to the divine venerate realm. Each of them possesses strength exceeding their peers by over 100-fold, and all of them have accumulated their required battle merits within these 10 days, as soon as they return to the rear rest area. It won't be long before they can achieve the divine venerate rank. But before that, they received orders from their respective worlds. If they could eliminate you before breaking through, then they should deal with you first before making their breakthrough. Because your threat is significant, you have the potential to achieve the 12th tier realm. Tianji Heavenly Venerate, it took some time, but we finally found you. You've killed over 1,000 fellow Taoists from our worlds in these 10 days. You're truly too arrogant. Haha, do you really think no one can deal with you? Truly ignorant of the immensity of heaven and earth. You're just a heavenly venerate who recently broke through. Although your combat power is a little strong, you don't actually believe that this bit of combat power can make you invincible across the entire battlefield, do you? Today is your day of death. I heard that each of you from the Hun Tian Great Thousand World has 3 chances to revive. Perfect. Today we'll turn those 3 chances into 2. After you revive later, remember to be more careful and don't run into us again. Otherwise, we'll kill you every time we see you, completely eradicating you. The 3 individuals in your perception arrived before you, each incredibly arrogant, speaking the most audacious words in a calm tone, as if they didn't take you seriously at all. It was as if you were just a roadside worm that they could easily kill. In their eyes, you were indeed a roadside worm they could kill. Although your combat power was comparable to each of theirs, it was 3 against 1. The advantage was theirs. Did you offend people in your respective worlds? Frowning slightly, you found their arrogance a bit much and couldn't help but ask. What do you mean, changing the subject, offending people? There are indeed some. Everyone who cultivates to this realm will offend some people, more or less. All right, stop changing the subject. Changing the subject won't save you from death. Just surrender to your death. The 3 heavenly venerate-level cultivators didn't understand your meaning. It seems the people you offended want to get rid of you. Otherwise, knowing I possess such terrifying combat power, they wouldn't have sent you to your death. Never mind. This old ancestor is about to break through realms soon, and I'm in a good mood today, so I'll just give you a quick death. To save everyone's time. I hope that after you revive next time, you can go back to your worlds and thoroughly investigate who exactly you offended. Otherwise, you'll die without knowing how you died. Nodding, you raised your black gold battle axe. This time, unleashing power 1,000 times beyond your peers, you ruthlessly crushed these individuals whose power exceeded their peers by 100-fold. 1 minute later, hundreds of single universe-sized all heavens void around disappeared, turning into nothingness, and the 3 individuals were severely wounded on the spot. 10 minutes later, tens of thousands of single universe-sized areas around disappeared, and the 3 individuals fell into a dying state. They were already on the verge of being unable to act arrogantly anymore. With this psychological trauma, they probably wouldn't be so arrogant for the rest of their lives. Half an hour later, the battle ended. Job done. You took the spoils of war from the 3 individuals and returned to the middle 1,000 worlds war fortress in the rear, beginning to exchange your battle merits for fusion-type heavenly treasures at the Hun Tian Hall's treasury. Killing a cultivator of the same level can grant 3 Dao-fusing heavenly materials and earthly treasures. This time, I killed over 1,000, so I can probably exchange for about 3,000. These are more than enough for me to break through to the next realm, and I'll even have some left over, allowing me to advance further when I eventually break through to the divine venerable realm. Looking at the military merits you acquired this time, a brilliant smile appeared on your face. Without any hesitation, you exchanged all your military merits for heavenly materials and earthly treasures. The next second, amidst a ripple in space, 2,500 different types of Dao-fusing heavenly materials and earthly treasures appeared before you. There were also 5,000 different types of heavenly materials and earthly treasures that could enhance your comprehension of the immortal Great Dea branches. The major 1,000 worlds' delivery speed never disappointed you. Unlike that system's delivery speed, which took hundreds of years to deliver, that was garbage. After carefully sniffing the fragrance of these heavenly materials and earthly treasures gathered together, you felt a new understanding of the other branches of the immortal Great Tao. Begin refining the heavenly materials and earthly treasures to break through to the divine venerable realm. Closing your eyes, the terrifying world power enveloped these heavenly materials and earthly treasures, initiating a one-time refining mode. It continuously refined them in an instant. As each heavenly material and earthly treasure capable of assisting in comprehending the power of the Tao was successfully refined, your comprehension of the 3rd branch began to soar. Under the influence of the time cultivation room's different time flow rates, in the first year, your comprehension of the 3rd branch reached 10%. In the 3rd year, it reached 20%. In the 10th year, it reached 50%. And in the 100th year, it reached 100%. Then, after using 3 Dao-fusing heavenly materials and earthly treasures, this 3rd branch, comprehended to 100%, merged into the minor indestructible Tao. This made the minor indestructible Tao even more powerful, making your body even harder and possessing even stronger indestructibility. For Dao-fusing heavenly materials and earthly treasures, after comprehending one branch to achieve the celestial venerable realm, merging the 2nd branch requires 2 Dao-fusing treasures, and merging the 3rd branch requires 3. The fourth branch requires 4, and so on. The 50th branch would require 50 items. For each additional branch, one more Dao-fusing heavenly material and earthly treasure is needed to merge it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Adding them up, a total of 52 Dao-fusing heavenly materials and earthly treasures were used. And through the time cultivation room, it took about 1,000 years. On this day, you slowly opened your eyes in the cultivation room. 10 branch minor Daos merged into one, becoming a towering Dao hundreds of times wider than a single one, possessing a higher upper limit and greater potential. The power of indestructibility erupted from you, permeating the entire time cultivation room. The divine venerable realm was successfully broken through. In an instant, with the successful breakthrough of your realm, your life level, your power, your soul, and everything about you underwent a radical transformation. Your strength, every single moment, became immeasurably stronger than before. Every second that passed, your strength was enough to kill your previous self with one hand. After a few seconds, killing yourself from a few seconds ago became a matter of a single thought. It was a matter of a single idea. The world inside you, which was over 100 billion light-years in size, began to expand wildly under the influence of the realm breakthrough. In just 1 minute, its area expanded by more than 10 times. An increase of 10 times in radius means 1,000-fold increase in volume. A few minutes later, the radius increased by another 10 times. Your inner world grew from a size of hundreds of billions of light-years in radius to hundreds of trillions of light-years in radius. A standard single universe is only a few tens of trillions of light-years in size. Your inner world can already accommodate 3 or 4 single universes. This means that even without using the power of the Tao, without using your talents, and even without the multiplier of your rule body transforming into a myriad Tao body, which directly amplifies power by 1,000 times. With just pure basic power, blank power, you could shatter several single universes in one move. Moreover, this was not your limit. After a few tens of minutes, the radius of your inner world increased by more than 10 times again. At this point, you finally felt the faint sensation of your physical body reaching its limit. Your inner world could already accommodate thousands of single universes. This is equivalent to nearly half of Kong City. Its volume reached a radius of 1,000,000,000 light-years. Normal cultivators in the divine venerable realm, if they cultivate by opening an inner world, their inner world would at most be tens of trillions of light-years in radius when they reach this realm. It is simply impossible for them to reach your level, impossible to be this large, impossible to be this heaven-defying. The golden light of the minor indestructible deluminated the entire cultivation room, causing the material of the cultivation room to change, acquiring the properties of indestructibility. Now, even if a celestial venerable realm cultivator were to attack this cultivation room relentlessly for millions of years, it would be impossible to inflict even the slightest damage upon it. Your eyes were like a pair of golden divine eyes, possessing endless majesty. Looking at your hands and feeling your body, which was even more perfect than before. A sense of comfort spread across your face. The breakthrough in realm and the transformation of your life level felt like several exquisite beauties using their soft, boneless hands to massage you, extremely comfortable. This is the divine venerable realm. It is indeed incredibly powerful. If not for this major 1,000 worlds-level invasion war, I don't know how long it would have taken me to reach this realm. But now, after only about 11 days since the war began, I've gathered enough cultivation resources to break through. During these thousands of years in the time cultivation room, only a few days passed outside. Adding the two together, all things considered, it hasn't even been a month. Breaking through a major realm in less than a month, for someone like me who is invincible at the same level. A battlefield where one can fully exert oneself is indeed a perfect catalyst for strength. With a gentle wave of a hand, the power of thousands of individual universes stacked together erupts. You simply cannot imagine anyone among cultivators of the same level being able to withstand this immense power. Thousands of universes. This level of strength, in other novels, would already be the protagonist's endgame power. In Xuanhuan novels, it would be enough to be called a true, immortal king-level existence. Not like the joke that was Yi Tian, the immortal king, from the minor 1,000 worlds that was invaded before. In Cultivation novels, he could be called a Tao ancestor, unrivaled in the entire world. In a normal multiversal world, he could be called the source of multiversal calamity, the lord of multiversal nightmares, the ultimate fear. In a high martial world, this power would be enough to transcend the entire world. It can be said that in most novels, this is endgame power. In fact, having the power of one universe at the end is already considered good, let alone the base power, the blank slate strength, of thousands of individual universes. Extremely satisfied, you couldn't help but continue to think. Now, among the vast army of transmigrators, I should no longer be at the bottom or middle. At least I'm in the upper middle tier. It's still not disgracing the transmigrator army. If there is one. Standing up, you walked out of the time cultivation chamber. As soon as you emerged, the staff member who had greeted you when you first arrived at this middle 1,000 worlds war fortress, while you were still at the celestial venerable realm, immediately came over. His face showed an expression of immense respect. Even more respectful than the smiling expression he had when he first saw you. That person was just a small ant at the 9th order realm, who had only seen celestial venerable level existences a few times in his life before. He had great fantasies about celestial venerable level existences. Every time he saw such an existence in the Hun Tian Great 1,000 world, he showed the utmost respect. But after coming to this war fortress, he saw many, many celestial venerables every day. His filter broke, and his perspective and mindset slowly changed. While he still respected celestial venerables, it wasn't as much as before. It had decreased a little. This is like some people who are poor, but are occasionally invited by some richer friends to experience the life of the wealthy for a few days. Attending some banquets. Some important figures in their eyes before were just ordinary members at the banquets. Their horizons were broadened, their hearts became more arrogant, but they themselves lacked the ability to support this newfound arrogance. This mindset cannot be said to be good or bad. If one can maintain this mindset without getting too lost, and strives to improve oneself and one's status more diligently than before to match this arrogant heart, then it is a good thing. However, if one simply indulges, becomes completely lost, and only wants to experience that feeling without thinking of changing oneself, then it is a bad thing. However, the other party's respect for ordinary celestial venerables only decreased a little. For a celestial venerable like you, who is unrivaled at the same level, and now has successfully broken through to become a superior god venerable, his respect remained at its highest. Because the gap between a strong person like you and him was simply too great, it was very difficult for him to lower his respect. Congratulations, Celestial Extremity God Venerable, on breaking through to the 11th Order God Venerable realm. When you return to the Hun Tian Great 1,000 world in the future, you will likely be able to become the Venerable of a city. Being the Venerable of a city is the lowest achievement. Perhaps after this war, Celestial Extremity God Venerable will be able to gather enough resources to break through another major realm, achieving the 12th Order. At that time, he will be the Venerable of a Tao domain. Such existences, in the entire Hun Tian Great 1,000 world, are only known to number in the hundreds of millions, and can be said to be among the strongest individuals below De Luo. Before Celestial Extremity God Venerable broke through, he was an unrivaled existence at his level. This breakthrough will certainly make him an unrivaled existence at his new level, when he enters the 11th Order battlefield. He will definitely create new battle achievements, slaying gods and Buddhas alike, easily killing thousands of cultivators of the same level. At that time, he will effortlessly break through to the 12th Order. Isn't this nonsense? Look at this great axe, look at these great muscles. Even without being unleashed, I can feel the explosive power within. Who can withstand an attack from this axe? Is it you, or is it you who can withstand it? Oh, by the way, haven't you heard the news from a while ago? The three unrivaled existences from the eternal life, great world, and the ancient god great thousand world, who were previously dominating many people in Battle Zone 365, originally planned to team up to besiege our celestial extremity god Venerable. As a result, they couldn't last even half an hour against our celestial extremity god Venerable. Now, the news says these three have already broken through to the god Venerable realm. Currently, on the 11th Order battlefield, they are just chasing and attacking people from our Hun Tian Great Thousand World, ignoring people from other major thousand worlds, as if venting their anger at us. The result is, those three were killed again and taught a lesson. Currently, after their third resurrection, they are quite well behaved. There's no other way. They have no choice but to be well behaved. They only have 3 chances to resurrect. If they are not well behaved again and get killed once more, they truly won't be able to resurrect. Afterward, they can only see if they can purchase resurrection opportunities in their Eternal Life Mall or Ancient God Mall. But if their worlds are conquered by us, they won't even have a channel to purchase, and then death will be truly permanent. As you emerged, the celestial venerable realm experts around you, upon seeing your face and sensing your aura, immediately showed enthusiastic, even slightly fawning smiles. They gathered around you, offering their most sincere blessings and praises. Listening to these praises and flattery, the smile on your face grew wider. After breaking through, this was your favorite part. You loved nothing more than others flattering you. If breaking through to the celestial venerable realm only allowed people from smaller factions in the major thousand worlds to flatter you, then breaking through to the god venerable realm meant that even the celestial venerable experts, who were high and mighty in others' eyes, had to flatter you. Simply because this was one of the privileges of a god venerable, the fierce flattery privilege. Any cultivator below the god venerable realm who saw you, from today onwards, had to flatter you, fiercely flatter you. If the privileges of a celestial venerable are something ordinary people wouldn't even dare to dream of, then the privileges of a god venerable can be considered an upgraded version of celestial venerable privileges. They include many more privileges that align with your wishes. For example, every god venerable, after successfully breaking through, automatically receives a great city as their territory. A great city is roughly the size of tens of thousands of individual universes. A normal middle thousand worlds is only one universe. As long as you successfully break through, it's equivalent to acquiring tens of thousands of middle thousand worlds, or even something of higher value. Because these tens of thousands of individual universes are within a major thousand worlds, the land in a major thousand worlds naturally holds a more precious value than the land in a middle thousand worlds. The difference between them is like one being in a super first-tier capital city and the other being in a third-tier city. The housing prices in a third-tier city are at most a little over 10,000, while housing prices in a super first-tier capital city are rarely less than 100,000. Of course, while this value is indeed high, there is one drawback. It cannot be sold. You cannot just receive it and immediately sell it to exchange for cultivation resources. However, although it cannot be sold, you can collect taxes within this great city. No matter who makes money in this great city, as long as they make money, they must pay a 20% tax. It can be said to be very heavy, but there's no other way. The rentier class also needs to eat, and they can't always earn their own food money. So, they can only make these people suffer a little. To be able to provide food money for a god venerable level expert is considered their greatest honor in this life. In addition to this benefit, god venerable level experts can also form a second-class Hun Tian army. Even if this Hunshan army doesn't recruit people or invade worlds, it can still issue a large amount of military pay every year. This military pay alone can provide you with hundreds of trillions of Hun Tian gold every year. Remember, this is annually. This money is enough to purchase a heavenly material and earthly treasure that helps Ninth Order cultivators comprehend the power of the Tao. There's no other way. That's the annual military pay of thousands of celestial venerable level experts, tens of millions of Ninth Order level cultivators, and hundreds of billions of Eighth Order realm cultivators combined, and that's how much it is. It can be said that this is your favorite privilege, your favorite benefit. Furthermore, every 100 epochs, God venerable level experts have one opportunity to listen to a sermon, specifically a sermon given by a grand unity level expert, explaining how to comprehend the opportunity of grand unity and achieve the Tao of grand unity. God venerable level experts have 10 celestial venerable quotas. This quota means that you can choose 10 descendants from your family, even the descendants with the worst potential and weakest talent, as long as they are handed over to the Hun Tian Hall. They will, without any requirements or expectation of return, help you cultivate these descendants into celestial venerable realm existences. All expenses for this will be covered by the Hun Tian Hall and the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. God venerable experts have their own chef team, assembled by the Hun Tian Great Thousand World. 100 billion top-tier chefs, with a minimum strength of 7th order, are recruited from the entire major thousand worlds to meticulously prepare delicious food for you every day. God venerable experts can receive a food subsidy of 10 quadrillion Hun Tian gold every 100 million years. This money is entirely for your meals, used by your chef team to purchase delicacies from the Hun Tian Mall. God venerable experts. One can only say that God venerable experts are awesome. These benefits are absolutely top-notch. This is only a God venerable. I can't imagine what the benefits are like for existences above the grand unity level. No, my imagination is still too limited. At that level, how could they still need things like benefits to highlight their status? Isn't that like ordinary people imagining an emperor farming with a golden hoe? The perspective needs to be broadened. Such existences have shares in the entire Hun Tian Great Thousand World. The major thousand worlds itself is partly theirs. Privileges and benefits are things they created themselves. Who else could give them benefits? Who else would have that qualification? After thinking about your current benefits and privileges, your mood brightened. You then thought about the privileges of grand unity-level existences, but soon you felt speechless about your own idea. Shaking your head slightly, after casually indulging in the compliments of those around you, you immediately chose War Zone 367 in the God Venerable level battlefield. Although the number of people in the God Venerable level battlefield was much smaller, the battle zones were still divided into 10,000.